Slop, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right.
Can you hear
Hello and welcome to Move the Line. This is Connor
I was
Allen.
like, shit, dude. Did I
Brought
miss
to you
something
by.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I
don't think
moved
that's
my
a
mic
wrap on
right
an
before I
intro.
started.
That's
Oh,
so
you
good.
muted?
Yeah, it muted me.
Okay,
When I moved my mic
okay.
and I hit the button and it muted me. So hey, we're a professional operation here.
I know.
Hello and welcome to Move the Line, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. It's a prop drop show. Ryan Noonan, Connor Allen, John Hyslop, ready to talk props. What's going on, fellas? Connor, what's up, buddy?
Not much. I had my last wedding of the year this weekend coming up. So kind of thankful to be done. Love weddings though, actually. Super fun, but I'm exhausted. Like I need some time to just like drink with my friends and sit at home and just not be hungover every Sunday. Which might still happen. But
Yeah, I was about to say,
friends?
you're going to drink with your friends, but not be hungover on Sundays?
maybe less, like slightly
Okay.
less.
Yeah, don't you drink with your friends at weddings?
Yeah, that's the point. Like
Yeah.
well, it's different friends. Like it's a lot of my wife's friends' weddings, which are still my friends, but like it's like different friends that I don't see all the time. So it's just all different.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. You need like your drinking and watching games friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I went to a wedding last weekend up in Wisconsin in a barn. Connor went to a wedding at like the Waldorf, I believe.
Yeah, the Waldorf in the city, and it was beautiful. I'm sure a little bit different vibes, but your food is probably better than mine. You said you had like some nice barbecue, like
yeah, it's good, great wedding too. Just kick ass wedding. It's good. We get different friend groups. I'm with Patrick. I'm at the age now where I go to more divorce parties than
nobody gets married now, dude.
Yeah, no, I don't. I do not have any. My friends that aren't married are not getting married.
Yeah,
and my, the ones that there's divorce parties more so than anything else. So yeah, it's just the scene of life. Connor's still young. We discovered last week, or at least some of our subscribers, some of our listeners discovered last week in a shocking fashion, Connor's still not 30, which very much rattled our subscriber base to the core.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain about being old. I feel old, but I mean, I know relative to you guys, like, a couple of relics that are joining me each week on the show.
Absolute facts. All right. Want to remind folks, live here, 3 p.m. Eastern, every Friday on the 4for4 Bets YouTube channel. We are here to give out our favorite player props. We're here to take your questions. So if you're hanging out with us now live on YouTube, jump in the chat or on Twitter. Let us know what your favorite prop of the week is. Any thoughts on a play, anything like that you want to ask us, let us know. Again, joining live on YouTube is the best chance to get the same number and the price on these props. They move quick. If you prefer the podcast version, you can find Move the Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Should be usually Friday evenings, not too long after we get done here. It gets out pretty quickly, but a thumbs up, subscribe, wherever you listen. Those things go a long way in helping us continue to do the things we're doing here at 4for4. You can find Slop on Twitter at Slop Rules. Lots of good stuff going on with Slop. You can find his YouTube channel. He's got lots of great content. Support Slop. He supports us. We want to take care of him as well. Again, if you like more like sides and total stuff, game previews, a little bit more like hand in the dirt stuff, Connor, myself, and a guest live 3:30 Eastern on Wednesdays. We had our friend Ben Solak on this week. And Solak, one of my favorite people to talk football with. Obviously, a great show if you want to get more like insight on our thoughts on some games, sides and totals. The Wednesday show is for you. If you want all the official plays, all the things that we do at 4for4, if you still like grinding DFS, you want high stakes, articles, rankings, tools, projections, everything that we do at 4for4, you can get with the betting subscription. We have a partner with Rebet. Right now, you can get the rest of the year for $10. I mean, that's it. There's no like funny loopholes. Download Rebet, use promo code 4for4bet. There's links all over the place to be links in the show notes. Reach out to us directly. Get the rest of the year for 4for4 for $10. Pretty insane deal at this point in the year. Now that we're already a couple weeks in, we want to discount that for you. This is the best deal you're going to find out there. And again, Rebet's got Prop Builder as well. What are they? It's a different name, right, Connor? It's not called Prop Builder, but it's the same premise.
Yeah, they call it Prop City.
Okay.
So it's the same thing. So anyone familiar with that stuff, they have all like basic props for everything. And they're taking reasonable limits. I think $250, like to $500 pops. So I mean, which is pretty solid considering most books are not allowing like anywhere near that. So
yeah, need another out. Download Rebet. Again, use promo code 4for4bet. and take advantage of that. Within like 48 hours or so, you'll get a promo code and an email explaining how to access your 444 sub, and you're good to go. You roll with us for the rest of the season for $10. That's it. If we suck, tough. You got the deal for $10. We'll be better next week because we kind of sucked last week in some instances. So just hang with us. We'll be better. Again, a great way to deal. And again, if you're still grinding season long or anything like that, you want to play DFS, all the things that we're doing at 444 are covered in that betting sub with that deal. So take advantage of it. It's a fantastic one. All right, live lines, no stale bread. These are all things available for you to bet on right now. Connor, floor is yours. Kick off week 4.
Yeah, so I have a couple of overs that I really love, but I'm going to keep a lot of them in the but sorry, Slav, I'm going back on it. I gotta keep one in the pocket that we'll talk about later, but
mute him, Ryan,
until there's a little bit more like clarity. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so I'm going to start it off with an under and I'll end with an over. So right. I'm starting off with the under here. We're going with CJ Stroud under 34.5 pass attempts. And so it's a little bit different than, the normal look for us, but Nico Collins was limited yesterday. It was practice today. Joe Mixon returned to practice, which I think is big. Tank Dell is expected to be out. And then Stephon Diggs has struggled against man coverage, just 1.41 yards per out run so far this season. We saw at the end of last season really struggle to separate against man. Jags play a ton of man. So even with their top 3 wide receivers healthy, the Texans were only at like about an even pass rate over expectation, a little bit above. So now you have them banged up. And we saw at the beginning of last season, like Bobby Sloak was super run heavy on early down just because, he didn't trust Stroud. They didn't have the weapons that they do now. But now with their weapons beat up against a Jaguars team that I don't think is going to push them at all. They're 6-point, underdogs here. The Texans defense is awesome. And the Jags are going to be missing, Foye Oluokun, your tackle god there. So I think you can see the Texans going a little bit run heavier here, controlling the game. This Jags offense, Doug Peterson needs to be fired. The Jags are just they just need to figure something else out at this point. I think this is going to come to a head here, honestly, maybe this week. So I'm expecting maybe 30, 32 pass attempts for CJ Stroud, and not a bad week, but just limited volume when he is. He's probably chucking it deep to Nico Collins, who's just absolutely wrecking this Jag secondary.
It's kind of gross, Slop, but the thought process makes a ton of sense. I know you're not on it, but any thoughts on this matchup or anything based off what Connor said?
I stopped listening after I heard under. No chance. No, that's
he's probably not lying though. He's probably not. He started stretching. He leaned back in his chair.
Yep.
Chopping other lines. He's like, whatever.
The Jags stink, and you're right. They will drain any over and turn into an under quickly. I just watching that game the other night. I was like, this is bad. That was horrible. That Bills game. I thought Peterson should be fired after that.
Yeah, I agree.
Him and that general manager, whoever put that team together and whoever coaches them, both got to go. That was one of those losses where it's like, God damn.
We've had a lot of bad stuff, in draft picks, and it's so easy to have hindsight analysis. And Trayvon Walker's been fine, but Trayvon Walker, shorts and a t-shirt champion with his long arms that Trent Baalke loves, and just passing on Aiden Hutchinson.
Those little baby alligator arms,
baby arms, and Hutchinson's out here balling with his baby arms. Dude, killing it. So yeah, not a great one. It's not like CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, or there's lots of other ones that jump out to you before you think Trayvon and Hutch, but pretty bad when you
that was great for our group chat.
Fantastic.
I'll never forget that.
I will never begrudge the pick, but yeah,
that was one of the greatest drafts of my life. Probably the greatest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I've lost all the money I won on that since. It's been
but
brutal couple of drafts since then. But
at least you had it to lose.
Right.
That's not that. What is it? Don't cry because it's over. Cry because whatever.
Be happy because you were there. Something like that. I don't know.
Don't cry.
We're not quoting professionals.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, I get the process, Connor. We wanted to blast some other stuff, and maybe we'll get there in this game. But some of these numbers have opened up pretty high. So
yeah.
All right, Slop, what do you got, buddy?
Deontay Johnson. Everything. So here's the thing. I'm looking right now to get his best number because I took his receptions literally. Maybe it was an hour ago. It was 5.5 plus 108. So I'm trying to find it right now, the best number. I think he catches 6 balls. He got targeted 14 times, didn't he? Something crazy like that.
A busy day.
Look, no Thielen. I don't think Andy Dalton has any problem just force feeding the guy. Looking at his separations number, like the separation number, he's always open, like always. So looks like plus 115 at BetMGM. So that appears to be the best number. I know most people that watch this can't bet at MGM, mainly because they watch this. But yeah, that looks like it's about as good as it gets. I mean, plus 114 at Pinnacle, which is kind of weird. But yeah, plus 112 at Ballybet. I mean, is that even a real book? No offense, Ballybet. But
Ballybet? Is that a real?
Yeah,
Is that, did they place win? Is that what happened? Was
yeah,
that?
they were supposed to come to Massachusetts, and I downloaded the app and everything, and then they just never came here.
They saw you.
They are a real book, I think.
Knew Noonan was from around there, and Jeff, like, and they're just like, we're not coming to the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah, we're good. Like,
John Cena, big better out in Massachusetts.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't know. Deontay Johnson, just like I said, against the Bengals, I think that the Panthers are going to get the best the Bengals can be. So whatever that is. So I don't know how good that is, but I think it's better than Carolina. So I don't think Carolina sneaks up on anybody this week at all. I think they're ready, but Red Rifle is not that bad. Like, he proved it last week. He's not that bad. So he's a obvious upgrade from Bryce Young. So 6 catches in a game where they're going to need points. No Thielen. I don't know. Like I said, I think he got targeted 14 times. Like, look, like I'm
13.
Sure. Like that's
13. Yeah.
That is crazy town for a 6 receptions. Because like I said, like he runs every route. It's not like they're just throwing bombs to him all the time. Like he's all over the map. So 6 catches, that feels way too easy, especially at plus 115. If you want to go 7 catches, I mean, I don't like going up quite that high, but like, I don't know. You're looking at plus 145 here, which is hang on, I'll get you a better one. FanDuel's got 168. It's not that crazy.
Yeah, especially too with Cincinnati with their pass rate over expectation. Like, they just can force some volume there too. And again, I think the floor's a little bit higher with that offense. Like you said, they are not sneaking up on anyone. And yeah, no Thielen is a nice little piece there. I'm sure you looked at Deontay stuff here, Connor. Any thoughts?
No, I love it. It's one of those that I was looking at and considering. So I'm struggling with this game a little bit because last week against the Bengals, we were on Brian Robinson to go over, and Lou Anarumo was like, you guys are not going to run on us. Like, we are missing our 2 starting defensive tackles. We're just going to like stop the run. And that led to Jaden Daniels looking like, prime Mike Vick out there. Like, literally it was like, I just bombs away, running whenever he wanted, juking guys out. It was like, I mean, so obviously as a Brian Robinson bag holder, I was pissed, but I was taking notice of what was going on. So now I'm curious to see like what the Bengals do, in this instance. Like, do they try and stop the run? Because we know the Panthers had a really good running game, like, against the Raiders. Like, do they try and slow down Chuba Hubbard and make Andy Dalton beat them? Or are they like, shit, Andy Dalton just, again, shredded as well? Like, it's funny to think that I think that they're kind of like a balanced attack at this point, that they can run the ball reasonably well and that they can throw the ball. Like, the Bengals defense sucks. And I think that they're only capable of fully stopping one or the other. Like, I don't think that they can do both. So like, if the Panthers pass a lot or like force pass a lot, like Deontay's going to have like 125 yards, 10 catches and 2 touchdowns. But if they do the opposite and like try and, I don't know, bracket him maybe a little bit more, or like, maybe play a little bit softer up front, Chuba Hubbard's going to have like 125 and, maybe a touchdown. So I don't know, maybe just play both alts in different iterations. Like, something's going to happen. Something's going to break.
Something has to happen.
I mean, both Rankins and Hill are out as well. This is a problem that I'm running into on the side of like trying to take my projections love the under on the Bengals linebackers every week. But the thing I can't account for is that these guys keep getting to the second level because no one up front is stopping them. So these guys are getting, insane tackle numbers. And it's like breaking the math of my projections, even though it's it makes a ton of sense. So yeah, I'm with you guys. I like the thought here. Deontay, again, 35% target per route run with Thielen in the game. Makes some sense here too. Jeff's out here citing Hard Rock. That's another sports book, Jeff?
Yeah, no, Jeff has to play at Hard Rock.
I know he's in
Florida.
Florida shit. Yeah.
It just popped in Illinois too, actually.
Oh, really?
Have you tried it out, Newton? I haven't.
I have not. I tried it out when I was in Florida in March. It's absolute garbage, but maybe it's been better. No offense to people at Hard Rock.
Yeah, no offense, Hard Rock.
No offense.
Yeah. as a potential show sponsor down the road, we could love you, but you got to pay.
I'm willing to love you. Yes. With some
Sure.
promo funds or, a nice lucrative CPA, whatever you want to do for us. We could find a way to love you.
I was with this guy. It's this guy on Twitter, DKDFS, whatever. I was with him last week, watched Thursday Night Football. Good dude. He was showing me the Hard Rock. Like you can bet alt under like parlays on there, and they don't usually have like, it's like Bet365 stuff, like kind of like where they have like a way more options and things. So I'm sure his account, he bet some like alt under WNBA parlay. So I'm sure his account is cooked at this point. But like the fact that they had it was kind of cool, like where no one else did. So I don't know. If I ever run into one of those situations, I might download Hard Rock and empty the clip there. But I would love to prime it, like bet some sides and totals for like 6 months, try and be a VIP, and then just like unload on them like, a couple weeks.
Yeah, for one bad line, you can catch them back,
Oh, yeah.
Alt under just had Connor just going. He's like, whoa, alt under? Can I download that right now?
Yeah, literally.
I might open it up in January and just start betting golf outrights on there, and then just to get ready for next football season.
Millie baseball parlays, dinger parlays. I'm telling you, that is the road to riches. Like you can just bet whatever you want on that book after that.
Yeah.
So thank you. Shout out FanDuel. I know it's a DraftKings show, but you too, DraftKings.
Yeah, both you guys.
Man, everybody gets some love.
All right, first play for me. I got a play that I absolutely love this week. Connor knows it too. It's just right now, it's only on FanDuel, so we're gonna save that for subscribers. When we get some more out, it's gonna be a good one. But this was kind of on brand. I like these longest reception plays, longest rushes, splash plays. I'm gonna go with George Pickens, longest reception over 21.5 yards. This is out there between like 20.5, 22.5, depending on the book. If you have MGM and you can get down, -110 is the best number. I think Caesar's out there too, the same, but I think juiced a little bit too. But this is a great spot. Colts defense is it's beaten up. Kenny Moore, slot corner, best player in the secondary, out this week. Pickens mostly plays on the outside, but he's been playing he's run no fewer than 10 routes in the slot in every game this season, 10 to 15. So he's going to work a little bit in the slot. He has popped over this comfortably in each of the first two of the first 3 games. He did not get there, got close, but week 2 against Patrick Surtain, shadow coverage, did not get there. But 27 in week 1, 40-yarder last week. Pittsburgh's running a ton of plays. Colts cannot get off the field defensively. So this is just a really weird game from a play projection standpoint based off of what we've seen in the first 3, because we have the team that's run the most plays against the team that's given up the most. I just think there's going to be a lot of play volume and some shots here. We know that Justin Fields can take some shots deep. So 21.5 is just not a lot for Pickens with the way he runs routes. So love this number. We'll play it comfortably at 22.5 if that's the best that you can get. I think he probably should be 23, 24, like where most of the big guys are. So they're trying to scheme some more layups for him. But again, this is just how we win still an A dot over 10. Like Pickens to break one here in the dome. Connor, any thoughts on Pickens?
Yeah, he was on my list. I know Stu, Monotone, hit him early in our Discord at 46 or something like that, his total receiving yards, which I love. It's up to 52, 53. I admittedly don't know why I didn't join Stu on that. I thought that was a great look. I mean, the rest of the guys that they're trotting out a receiver are just absolute losers. I mean, these are those nobodies. And so Pickens is awesome. So I think this is a really good spot for him. I mean, the Colts is literally just trotting out a bunch of bums at corner. This is if you would have told me before the year, we're matching up, who's even active for the Steelers at this point? Is it Van Jefferson active? Roman Wilson? Are they all out?
Barrington, Illinois' own Scotty Miller.
Yeah, Scotty Miller against the Colts' 4th string corner is going to be a legitimate matchup this week.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's embarrassing. So I think even if the Steelers don't have to throw a ton, I think that this is a good look. Again, that's why I feel at this point, the longest is probably the better look instead of the yards. But I do think that alt Pickens stuff, if it's all clicking, for some reason they got to throw the ball 25, 30 times. I mean, Pickens could have 150, if he really hits a ceiling here. But yeah, I like the look.
Dude just dominates air yard share for this. 47% of the air yards on the season for Pickens. It's Calvin Austin, Scotty Miller, Van Jefferson, Ben Skoranek is on the team now, apparently. So
nice, Big Ben.
I think whenever he was drafted, George Pickens, I think I knew at that point, he was either going to be just an absolute dog or just horrible, complete complete dog ass. Like it was just one of those like where he's like, staring at the TV, like that whole thing. Like
Right.
it was like, I was like, oh, this guy's crazy. Like he's going to be an absolute animal in the league.
Well, we had some reports on that. Some of the stuff in college coming out on Pickens was not very.
There was good videos though of it. Like he took some kid right off his cleats, like with a block.
Yeah.
Remember that? It was like, dude, this is great. Like, can he catch? You know what I mean? That's all I wanted to know.
Well, he was awesome as like a freshman, and then he just kind of.
I think he got hurt though.
Yeah,
because I remember in a national title game, his number was pretty low, but he came back. But I think it was the week before he took the kid off the cleats. So I was like, he looks like he's fine. Like I'm gonna take him, and I took him over his receiving yards that night, and I think he caught one ball, which got it. So thank God. But yeah, it was a long one.
Checking the box for the longest. Yeah.
So I'll never forget him for that. Nice work, Pickens.
Yeah. He does it again this week for sure.
Is he going to be the next Steelers wide receiver, just fall off a cliff as soon as he leaves, or like something happens with Tomlin or whatever?
Maybe.
Like, I mean, that would be the least surprising thing. I mean, we'll put in our calendars, whatever, 5-6 years from now or whatever, when he's, not in the Steelers inevitably or gets the bag somewhere else and he's like doing nothing or suspended or something. And it's like, oh, Tomlin somehow kept some other crazy guy under wraps.
Yeah.
He's good.
And he goes over the middle. He ever starts running like slants or anything where he can get his clock cleaned a little bit and we get a concussion and he comes out of that like it's already a little bit loose and you shake it up a little bit. It's kind of what happened to Antonio Brown. Never the same after that Vontaze Burfict hit.
Definitely not.
And so
he got him.
CTE, baby. Connor, all right, back to you, buddy. What do you got?
All right, second play of the day, and this will be much more slops language. I'm going with DK Metcalf over 1.5 receiving yards right now. Best line on Caesars. It's like 63, 64 in other spots. I think that's totally fine as well. He's just in a fantastic spot here against the Lions. So, I think Noonan alluded to some spots that he likes. So I'm not going to blow up entirely here, but I do expect, the Seahawks to focus on this Lions pass defense. Their pass defense right now is just, they're a massive pass funnel. They're top 5 in run defense, outside the top 20 in pass defense. DK Metcalf leads the team in target share, is really good against man coverage with the Lions playing above average rate of 28% target share, 2.5 yards per out run, dating back to, his career. So like, I think this spot here, again, if the Lions push the Seahawks at all, which I fully expect them to have some kind of answer or play well, the Seahawks could throw a bunch. DK Metcalf is an awesome matchup here. Only 61. Obviously this is somewhat reliant on like a bomb in a sense, but it could very well not be. Like he doesn't need a 70-yard touchdown every week to flirt with 60, but then obviously to get the alts, like I think that's very much in play against a bunch of Lions corners who I don't think are very good, to be honest. So I'm interested to see how this goes. But I like over 61.5. I played 90 plus at plus 270 and 110 plus at plus 550 here on DK Metcalf for a sprinkle as well.
They're tied with the Bengals right now for pass rate over expectation. And last year, the Lions were second defensively in pass rate over expectation against teams skew pass heavy, and they're third so far this year. So just kind of a perfect matchup with how these teams are playing. So I like it. Slop, what do you think here? Nice little over on DK Metcalf.
Yeah. Somebody took that in the Thunderdome today. I think it was Tommy G. But I was more focused on, shout out Tommy. I was focused more on Geno. 250, this would be my next pick, but 250 plus at Caesars is even money. And I think they're fine to throw the ball. I'm kind of scared to take quarterbacks over just with, what we've seen so far this year. It's not like everybody's doing it type thing. Like you really got to get the right ones, get the right games. But this is a perfect game for that because I don't think they'll be able to run on them at all. And Geno, last week, 289 against the Dolphins, they won 24-3. So like you would think, I don't know, like especially against the Dolphins team that you probably didn't really need to go 289 on just because they don't even have a quarterback. So you needed literally 6 points and you beat them. But yeah, they let Geno go nuts. 327 the week before against the Patriots. So if you can only imagine if they actually need or have a trailing game script against the Lions, like he's probably going 300 plus. And that would mean DK obviously gets home. But I think all those guys will eat.
Yeah, the Seahawks right now, they lead the league in pass rate over expectation, and they didn't even pass that much last week. Again, because the game was out of hand.
He still threw it 34 times.
exactly, and he still threw
Crazy.
30. Yeah, it's pretty wild there. I was like curious about like, Metcalf versus JSN versus Lockett, that. So I think maybe the Geno look specifically there is like just a fantastic look. I think like all the overs are great. Like,
Yeah.
what I'm most interested in that game specifically is like how the Lions handle the Seahawks defense, because the Seahawks defense has played really well this season, but they've played against a bunch of jabronis. It's been like Knicks and Skylar Thompson, and like, I mean, again, like me and you were throwing passes out there by the end of the game. So it was like, but now what do we see against an actual offense? That's the question. Like, what do we see here? So, I mean, Slop, do you have a take on that, or?
I think they're gonna have trouble with Detroit. I really do. So yeah, they're gonna go. That game's in Detroit, right? So it's not like they're not at home. It's inside too, so it's on the track. Like it's, man, that could be a really fun one, because to be honest with you, the other game that night, this is Monday night, is like horrible. Like it is literally like one that I don't even know if I could watch that. The Titans-Dolphins.
It's not great.
Against some dude. Is it Skylar?
I
we don't know. It might be Huntley, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No. Someone said Huntley was starting. Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll go Huntley in that one just for the vibes. But
I also want to.
Let's hope that other one's good.
There was a good shout out in our Discord from I don't remember exactly who it was, but they brought up Tyreek Hill's line is only like 50. With Snoop Huntley, I mean,
he might be good, dude. Like, he's not that bad. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Remember when John Kitna used to come in for the Lions and he just dropped 300? Like, I don't know. Huntley, he feels like a guy that if he, he could come in and drop 260 for you. You know what I mean? Like, no big deal.
Yeah.
We'll see, though.
Shout out to Connor being just a good teammate here. Just a good, good point guard, good assist here. The one I was talking about at the top that I really wanted, that was only on FanDuel, that is now also on Caesars MGM 365, is Geno Smith over 33.5 pass attempts. So we just cooked it up. You guys handicapped it for me. I didn't have to do it. I kind of gave some of my handicap in the DK stuff. Again, they lead the league in pass rate over expectation. Detroit faces one of the highest pass rate over expectations in the league. This is just a top 5 run defense. They skew teams that way, and it's what Seattle wants to do anyway. And I think his shout out last week against Miami, where they kind of had control of that game the whole game. Miami plays so slow. They play even slower than normal last week. Geno still goes over the number.
Yeah, if you had Skylar Thompson, you wouldn't want to run a play either.
Yeah. So I absolutely love this number.
I mean, we haven't even seen the Seahawks get pushed. I mean, they played literally Denver, New England, and Miami.
Yeah.
Skylar Thompson, like, imagine if they're losing. Like, I mean,
exactly,
50 times, like literally.
Yeah. I feel like, and I want to say it, like Geno's got to, like, he plays the full game. He's fine. I guess I'll say it that way, right? I don't want to jinx it, right? Like, he plays the full game. I have a really hard time finding a scenario in this where 30. I thought I had this in my notes on Monday morning, and I was like, thinking 35.5. We would have to consider it, and we want to do some work on it. So 33.5. Sitting out there at FanDuel, and now Caesars MGM 365 join the party.
Does anybody have alts for attempts?
Caesars sometimes does. Let me see if they have them up right now.
So let's just bet our houses.
I don't see it up. They have alt, like rushing attempts normally. They might have it later in the week. They already moved to 34.5. I mean, shout out the chat/subscribers for hitting that. But I mean, again, like we talked about, like, you can I think you could legit play like 40 plus here attempts.
Yeah.
Like, that's in range. You know what I mean? What did he have? 44 against New England.
It's like what you just said. We haven't seen him even get pushed.
He was over that number before OT. But yeah, that game was close and went to OT. So yeah, as a spot as a dog, a road dog, like, yeah, it just doesn't seems like a really good number. So definitely one of my favorite bets of the week for sure. So Connor's in that with me, and fits nicely with the DK stuff, and Slops on the over yards. So feels like we got a couple of legs for our Millie parlay here too.
You know what? So, yeah, I was about to say, I'm ready with whenever you are.
I mean, we can't afford not to. I mean, we got to get going on this.
I feel like we can't start building that until we're at least halfway through the show. And now we are halfway through the show. So we
well, because the once you go, there's no going back.
No,
like,
no,
you know what I'm saying? Like I can't get back into like rational thought like after you start thinking about Millie parlays.
Yeah.
And there's some awesome spots this week. I mean, there are like, there's just some amazing spots. I'm excited to see what you guys have because I have like 7 written down that I think are just like fucking alpha, smash spots here, plus a little, Geno DK action too. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I can give you one more normal play first.
Oh, you got a normal play still? Oh,
one more normal play.
Yeah, go back to that.
That's because this is what I had instead of Geno. And I get your thoughts on it. I think Connor's going to like this one, which probably means I don't think Slop's going to like
it. It's an under. Yeah.
An under?
Connor's really been wanting to play, and he's been banging money on KJ Osborne unders, right? Just out there, cardio club king, guy just out there, just running route after route after route, who just is not doing anything. As more looking at this, there's another way to play it, which I think makes a ton of sense. Jacoby Brissett, longest completion under 29.5 yards. Now, kind of a perfect spot. Brissett, third lowest ADOT in the league. San Francisco's allowed the second lowest rate of explosive pass plays this season, just 5%. San Francisco also is the lowest missed tackle rate in the league. So, like, sometimes in a play like this, you need like someone to miss a tackle or something like that. Like San Fran just doesn't do it too much. New England's got one dude who's got an ADOT over 9 yards. It's Tyquan Thornton. He's had 1 target in the last 2 weeks. Like you're having to have like Demario Douglas or Hunter Henry like break a tackle and try to run for 30 yards. You need a 30-yard reception here. Like that's just not happening with this current Patriots team. So this is on MGM, DK, Caesars, Rivers, under 29.5, longest for Jacoby Brissett. I think is an absolute banger. Not a place I love to go, but Brissett has won all season. Also, there's a shot that he probably doesn't make it through the whole game. So I don't know. There's multiple outs here.
This warms my heart for a couple of reasons. One, you're betting against the Patriots. 2, it's an under, and it's just great. It's great logic. They have no game-breaking ability. We talked about this before the season. They have like 5 guys who all win in the same area. None of them are able to be alphas in like the deep middle part of the field. None of them are able to they don't even have a really good deep threat guy. Like Tyquan Thornton's it, but you couldn't separate against Nana. Like it's the new Devontae Parker out there, like it's crazy, man. So I like this under a lot. It's a great look.
Slap, I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not doing it, but I think I agree with it. Like that way.
That's it. I'll take that.
It's a stamp of approval. That's probably gonna happen.
It just seems like, sometimes you'll try to look at those longest reception props, and I get why they do it this way, but then you see such a massive discrepancy to where the quarterback is, because obviously you don't have to pinpoint who the player is and come from some rando. But just, I don't know who the Pats, I don't know who gets there for the Pats. Like that guy's not on the roster unless Tyquan Thornton all of a sudden is like playing a ton of plays and just hasn't been happening. So, yeah.
It's like you said, like the, someone just has to like break a tackle and get loose. If you're betting on that, then good luck.
Yeah. And again, like we watched what happened with that Pats offensive line on Thursday night last week, right?
Disaster.
Jacoby does not have time to wait for someone to get open deep. They legit might be playing with like 4 backup. They have 4 offensive line starters who are legitimately questionable. Multiple are going to sit. I haven't seen the final injury report for that yet, but like tough scene. And I think this is Jacoby's last game too. I think this is
if I were Jacoby, I'd call out sick.
Yeah, take the day, bud.
But I'm not playing.
T's and P's.
The guys that were the good guys are not playing, and they were terrible. So, like, can you imagine like who their backups are?
It's not pretty. So, all right, this is my last normie. We can get to some of the fun stuff here. Slop, what do you got? What are you cooking up?
It looks like Justice Hill. I don't mind his reception props over. All right, so here's the thing. In the first game, when they had a game against the Chiefs, he got targeted like 8 times, and he caught 6 balls, right? Like, he was definitely part of that little pass game or whatever. So the next week, they play the Raiders and boat race them, basically, for the whole game until like early in the fourth quarter when they decided not to just run the ball and try and, tick-tock. They didn't do that. They they let the Raiders back in the game, and that's why that game looked close. But the reason why Hill only caught 2 balls that game was because it was not a real game. It was like they've proven they will just hand the ball to Derrick Henry. They have no problem doing that, you know? So then the next game, the Cowboys, the same thing happened again, and he only caught 2 balls. But again, there really wasn't a reason like there is this time around. I know they're favorites, but I think the Bills are legit. And like I wouldn't be shocked if that game goes back and forth, if the Bills play with a lead, whatever it is. But people have been targeting running backs against the Bills. I think they've seen 23 targets to running backs their opponents have done. So that's fourth. Yeah, that's 4th most in the NFL. If and when this game turns into, a push comes to shove, I guess, Justice Hill should be involved, in that pass game because, like I said, they don't want Lamar just chucking the ball over the field. It's keep it close. Zay Flowers, Justice Hill, and hopefully not your boy Bateman. And that'll be a night. And Isaiah Likely's probably in play too, but I think it's Hill 4+, just 4 catches is like plus 240, which I mean, that's not that. I don't think that's plus 240 crazy. I mean, it's still 4 catches for a running back, but it's not a normal running back either. But they have a running back. They use him more in the pass game, or want to. I would think.
Go ahead, Connor.
I was going to say I really like that. I released earlier in the week, and I almost actually saved it for the show, but I didn't think it would be around by the time we got here. We played Josh Allen over 228 passing yards and alt overs. We saw last week in the first half, before the game was even out of hand, before the 2-minute warning, like we're looking at 32 dropbacks for Josh Allen and like 7 running back runs. Like Joe Brady, for as much flack as he gets, was like, you know what, we're going to pass the ball because this is where we see our advantage. Now the Ravens, elite run defense, very middling to below average pass defense so far this season. I think that we see Josh Allen come out and just sling it like basically every play, which again, I think it elevates volume, it boosts pace. It's going to go back and forth. Like, I think that there's a lot we can do with this game. I haven't played a single pass catcher on the Bills yet, but I think there's a lot of different angles that you could do with that too. So, but yeah, I did play the Bateman under. You mentioned my guy Bateman. Bills outside, like perimeter corners have done a great job of defending this year. I think they only had like 13 or 14 receptions all year to outside receivers. So obviously, like we're talking like 2-3 a game. And Zay Flowers plays outside sometimes. Like Lamar, not his best when he's throwing outside the numbers either. So I think that Bateman could be held catchless here this week.
I really wanted Khalil Shakir receptions this week. It opened like 3.5 minus 160 or something like that. Just not typically a price point that I'm going to jump into, but 4.5 at plus money, it's still pretty much where it is across the board. It's like, I don't know, 5+ on Shakir makes a ton of sense because that's where the Ravens have been getting cooked. That was part of my CD handicap last week. Yeah. CD, like that was such a tough loss, but because the dude that like, I don't know, prayer yards, but they're like, he caused like 5 or 6 pass interference plays. It felt like every time in the second half, I'm just like dying over here waiting for him to go off. And of course he does it last night, but yeah, I don't know. Slots against the Ravens have been cooking all season. And Shakir, I think, is starting to really kind of emerge as someone that he really trusts. So I think Shakir 5+, probably plus 140 or something like that. Caesars, I think, is what the number is. That's pretty interesting to me as well. It kind of correlates with that too. But yeah, I mean, I think your handicap of the game matters on the Justice Hill stuff. And I'm with you. I think I'm pro Bills in that spot, getting 2.5 Bills money line. Definitely don't think it's a spot where the Ravens get up and just run a ton. So I think it bodes well. And that's what we saw in Hill week 1 when that game was close. So yeah, I don't mind that. Connor, are you building it out or are we going to start? What do you got? You start to.
Well, I added Slops prop. I added Justice Hill 4+ receptions. I think that's a great start. And then Josh Allen 300+ passing yards. That's like 4-1, something like that. So we're already at 15-1. We're well on our way. Is there anything else you wanted to add in that game, or do you want to go to different?
What about Likely?
I mean, Likely?
It feels like this would be a spot where, like I said, that if they need to throw the ball, I bet you he would be involved. They'll manufacture ways to get him the ball, like not like the traditional tight end thing. Like they'll run him out of the slot, they'll run him. You know what I mean? That they'll just figure out a way to get him the ball. So, I mean,
what do we think?
It's like. You could do yards. I mean, obviously 40+ is plus 225, which that's not 225 crazy in my book, but also receptions, 4+ receptions is plus 178, which if they do those stupid little behind the line of scrimmage passes where that's a free reception, but the guy could get dropped for a 5-yard loss. Like that's the only problem with those. But I mean, I don't know, but I do think that he would get the ball in the scenario that we're talking about. He is probably getting the ball. You know what I mean? Like that's because again, like you said, they really can't use their receivers on the outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, one of them's Bateman, so you really can't use him anyways. But yeah.
Do you guys know off the top of your head how often he's been lining up in the slot? I think the Bills slot corner's out this week, right? Teron Johnson again.
Teron Johnson's out. Cam Lewis is starting. Historically, the Bills have been awesome against tight ends. But that stuff can be pretty noisy.
That's Mark Andrews.
Yeah, he's their tight end.
Like, do you know what I mean? Though, like the way they were likely was like they were doing nonsense in the first game. Like that wasn't a tight end. It was to the point where you really couldn't say like the Chiefs are bad against tight ends because you're like, yeah, he is a tight end, but he was not being used as a traditional tight end. It wasn't, anything like that.
That's fair. Let me see here. Likely slot. Let's open the wrong year. Year matters. You want to know?
Just do slot from week 1.
We're looking at like 49% slot rate, inline 39.1%. So
slot numbers gone down every game too.
Yeah, but those 2 games don't even count in my book. That's not the same type of, you know what I mean? Like
1000%. They were playing with a lead pretty quickly there last week, especially.
And they decide like how many times did they run the ball last week instead? Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, together, it was the rushes. It was crazy. It was literally every play. It was either one of those guys running, and you're like, all right, well, this is fun.
Yeah, it's to see Lamar have like 14 attempts after betting his under on attempts the week before against the Raiders, and he can't even crack 20 against the Cowboys. It's pretty tilting.
39. They read those 2 together. 39 attempts. Throw in 5 from Justice Hill and another 1 for Flowers.
Yeah,
like I don't think that you're not getting that kind of rushing volume. So where like that has to go somewhere. I think it all goes to Isaiah Likely.
I think it's likely.
And Justice Hill.
Dad joke. Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I mean,
so which one do we add? Receptions or yards?
I'll leave it to you, Connor.
All right, I vote we go 40+ yards just in case our handicap's wrong. You can break one, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
just leaves more outs, Sweet. Okay, cool. All right. What Noonan? I'll let you take it somewhere else. I have like 5 other ones written down, so we're gonna have no problem getting to $1 million here. This is like gonna be easy.
Yeah. How about some uncorrelateds that are interesting? You could stand alone. We can start to add here too.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, we lasted 5 minutes before we started talking uncorrelated.
Yeah,
that's a record.
I mean, it's already kind of floating around the chat here. Seeing more routes of Tutu Atwell, who's got some big play ability here. Tutu against the Bears. Bear defense is good defense. Under 3.5 receptions for Tutu, 60+ on FanDuel is 14-1.
Is he a deep guy now?
He is a deep guy.
That's what it looked like Sunday.
Yeah, let's I'll give you his so routes jumped up quite a bit last week. Let's see what the percentage is, which is pretty nice. Yeah, he jumped up to 83 percentage of the routes last week from 31. 21% target per route run. His ADOT last week was 16.2. He had 30% of the team's air yards.
Nice.
So
yeah,
doesn't take much for the little guy to get it done. So 3 balls, 20 yards a pop. We're cooking. 14-1 on FanDuel. Like it quite a bit.
I don't mind it. I hate A.T. Perry. Or I hate Tutu Atwell. I don't know. I just kind of don't like him.
You hate A.T. Perry.
He does hate A.T. Perry.
Well,
I know you hate him.
Do you think? Okay. Side note: do you think A.T. Perry's gonna be active this week? We got some news in our little private 444 Slack chat going on right now about a rogue A.T. Perry line available, which he hasn't played a single game this season. So that's
he hasn't played yet. Yeah.
But like he didn't practice on Thursday either. So. All right. Well, I'm not going to ruin the edge. So sorry, guys. Just join the Discord. Maybe I'll tell you guys later about where it is. But Tutu Atwell, yeah. I mean, it's fine. I added to the slip. Why not? We're like the Bears too. Like they have a lot of explosive plays. They haven't been like
Surprisingly, they have. Yeah.
Yeah, like they've been good on a per play basis, but then randomly they have a lot of explosive. So, you know what? I'm in under 3.5, like minus 150. But if you pair with 50 plus or 60 plus or 14-1, we're already at, I think 70-1. I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if this dude was running 50% of the routes, but 83% last week, kind of took over. Tyler Johnson, Connor's boy, kind of slipped back there. Again, you know, Jordan Whittington never really stepped up, still hovering around 35% of the routes or so last couple of weeks. So Tutu is kind of a guy they seem to trust. Been around, been in the system a little bit longer than everyone else. So should be on the field. So
love it.
And then our king, our JAMO replacement. We get in a spot where we got the Chiefs 7-point favorites here against a pretty depleted Chargers team. Don't think we see a ton of volume, but doesn't take much for Xavier Worthy to do the same thing. Under 3.5, 60 plus 1250 on FanDuel. Low volume passing game, I think here.
Yeah, that feels right.
The Xavier Worthy stuff, I feel like should just be an auto play every week, right?
I feel like I'm just beating you guys to it if you didn't have it.
No, it's like I just don't understand why they keep lining him at 3.5. The only way that I'm going to play it is with this kind of random shit. What do you 3.5, 50 or 60?
I did 60, but yeah, 60 was 1250, I think.
Yeah, I mean we're cooking here. I mean that's 1260 right there. Man, these uncorrelated just get juicy real fast.
Just real fast, yeah.
We don't even have anything from the Lions, Seahawks, or the Commanders, Cardinals game.
Yeah.
Which that could get out of hand.
Yeah. I mean, Connor, we were talking about this before the show. Like the Marv number is huge. It might not be big enough. I mean, Marv Ladders 100 plus is like 275 on Caesars. 120 is 5.25. 140 is 850.
I think he has to. Like that's how you become a made guy in the NFL now. Is like you have 100 against the Commanders. Like that's how like your your team's alpha is that you get 100 against them.
McBride's out.
I added Marv 100 plus.
Okay.
I think he has to get that. Greg Dortch is people are talking about. I'm not doing that. I refuse to, but people are talking about it.
I played over on Michael Wilson, 3.5 receptions.
Okay. Yeah, I could get behind that.
I feel like he cucked all my Trey McBride receptions last week in the slot. So
yeah, we were almost millionaires.
So close.
And then Michael Wilson shows up. It was probably busted before then, but still.
It doesn't matter.
You can blame any of the guys that lost. Doesn't matter when they lost.
All right, Connor, I feel like you're sitting on a bunch. What do you got?
Yeah, what do you got, dude?
I mean, we got to add. We didn't even add DK Metcalf yet. So DK Metcalf
and Gino.
Yeah, DK Metcalf, Gino.
How about Pickens? Should we get some Pickens 50 plus?
Oh yeah, Pickens. Yeah.
Geno Smith, all passing yards. I mean, what do you want for Geno? 300, probably 300 for Geno.
I'd go 300.
Yeah,
I think he gets that. I don't think that is crazy at all.
No.
Whereas like now it feels like 300 is getting it's 300 yards again. You know what I mean? Whereas like I don't know, like I don't think that's crazy for him. That coach wants to throw like they want to just be Washington again.
Yeah. Yeah. They got the horses to do it.
What do you want for what are we thinking for Pickens? 180 is like plus 255, 90 is
70.
70? Okay. All right.
What do you guys think of Najee?
See,
Connor has thoughts.
I know you don't like Najee, but like
no, I do, but like I was gonna play the over on yards, but he's just been like they've been so inefficient. Jalen Warren's out, Cordell Patterson's out. The Colts are missing DeForest Buckner, so like hypothetically, it should be a good matchup. But they've been so bad. Like they've been so bad at running the ball. It's like 3 yards every time. So he like needs 20 carries. Like needs 20 carries. So if he gets 20 carries, he still might not even hit alt. He's like 70, 74, and 76 rushing yards on like whatever, like 20 carries a game basically against teams that are fine, I think, defensively, but nothing like no elite units. So for me, it kind of just like I was like, look, in perfect game script, he probably gets there, but it's not something I want to, put a bunch of money on. So one last one that I want to add here for alts, Jaden Reed, alt overs. If Jordan Love plays, I think this number is like, good 10, 15 yards off of what it should be. it won't be that high. It's probably moved like maybe 4 or 5 yards if he's confirmed in. So it's like one of those things where he's been really good against zone. He's like leads the team in target rate against zone. He leads the league or leads his team as well against zone blitzes. He crushed in week 1 with Jordan Love. And then last season, he had like 83 and 87 yards against the Vikings against this like very similar Vikings defense. So I would guess that he sees a ton of work and pops one here. Like I feel like we're looking at 48.5 as a line. I think the alts are very interesting here at like, I don't know, 70, 80 yards here. I mean, again, he did it literally both games last time against this team. So
Evan in the chat's talking about Watson. Can you see that?
Yeah, last week 2 catches, 67 yards built in.
Could be with Jaden Reed there hogging all the targets. He could be an anti-correlation guy.
I mean, we are at 35 cents to win $1 million right now. So we are well over our quota.
Wow.
I mean, do we want to make this like easier? Like, I feel like, this is like, or, this is.
Yeah. So where could we make it a little bit easier?
We didn't even add like Nico stuff. Wanted to add some, maybe some like Bears stuff or some, we didn't even get there, but.
Yeah, no Caleb Alts, Jamar Chase. I mean, Jamar Chase is in a smash spot as well. Deontay, we didn't even have Deontay Alts. Like, I don't even know if we need necessarily the uncorrelated here because that just like boosts it like 1 million times. You know what I mean? Like it's
just need fewer legs,
Yeah, literally. I mean, I don't even know what to do with this. What do you guys want to do? Like, what's your gut telling you here?
We could add somebody and then take out that anti-correlated stuff, the non-correlated.
I go we make a separate non-correlated parlay and then just add in like our regular alts right now.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Dalton's got a good suggestion. Just bump the show out to about 90 minutes. We make 5 different parlays. I mean, just so many good thoughts here. 5 times as many yachts. That's just Dalton really dialed in here. Just the logic is so sound.
It works.
I love it. I mean, do we want to add? All right, so I'll see if we add the alts. So we got Caleb Alts. I mean, Caleb just threw for whatever.
Draw back 1 million times. Yeah.
And then Slop. Who are your other guys? Do we want? Let's see here. We didn't do Nico. Do you like Nico?
Ryan likes Nico, but I co-sign.
Okay, good. That works. I'm trying to plug all these in here. We're pretty close again here. 125, 100. Yeah, 125 is fine.
Yeah, another one's good. Is Cordell Patterson not out or is out?
Did not hear that he was out until
he
Connor
might be
broke
playing. So he might see a little bit of work, but I mean, again, it's probably like 5-6 carries.
Yeah.
All right, now we're at $3 to win $1 million.
We're at $3. That's my sweet spot.
Yeah. So I think this is a good, like the $2 to $5 range, feels good, right?
Yeah.
All right. So quick rehashing out again, guys. I'll tweet it out. I'll attach it to the show here after we log off. Josh Allen 300+, Justice Hill 4+, Isaiah Likely 40+, Gino 300, DK 110+, Marv 100+, Pickens 70+, Reed 80+, Caleb 275+, Nico 125+. That's it.
That's not crazy.
It's not that crazy at all. Let's see here. Yeah, talking about, it looks like it moved while we were watching, while I was saying it. So that's crazy. We might need a little bit more we need 355 now. So,
man.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, they came out with Rome at 2.5 receptions on DraftKings. Massively juiced. But that's
so 4+.
I can't uncorrelate him. I wanted to go under 3 and over 50 or something like that. It's a little harder to do. We're in like the Nelson Aguilar territory here. We need him to have like 1 or 2 catches for deep. It's a little thinner. It's a little harder to get there. But maybe that number gets hit a little bit, especially with looks like we're gonna have. Do we have Keenan Allen news? Is that trending well, or he's in?
I think he's playing. Yeah, I think that's what mid-show they said he's playing.
Interested to see what happens there. So
Yeah, there's a lot of situations too, just real quick. Like there's a lot of situations that they haven't posted lines for, like the Eagles situation, like
nothing.
just nothing. Even like some Buck stuff too.
Yeah,
I would
what
love to
about
play.
Bucky?
Yeah, Bucky's out, I think, isn't he? Like he didn't practice the last 2 games, but then he said he was gonna be fine. I don't know. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, but they're talking about like elevating him above White. That's another situation, like the Bears situation. Like, does that even matter? You know what I mean? Like what do you do with that?
See, the thing is, Rashad White sucks, like real bad. He might be worse than DeAndre Swift. So, I don't know. Not saying much, but also another look. Mike Evans' first quarter yards, I think, is interesting. They've said like 3 times this week, like we want to get Mike Evans involved early, and they want to after he was only had 2 catches or 2 targets, 2 catches, one of the 2 last week against the Broncos. And Patrick Surtain, made him his child. So I think he's in a good spot here to get like, whatever, 10 plus first quarter yards or, early reception there. So it's an interesting angle.
I didn't even hear that. I'm going to definitely look into that. That's actually a way to play those markets, those first quarter markets. Like literally that's a way to play them. Like the down game for a receiver, especially receiver position, because they're divas.
Yep.
So they just force feed them early on where, why not?
Got a couple of sack notes for you guys. We hit a sack and a tackle here last week. No tackles for you guys right now, but fired a few. We'll have a bunch more because injury news have really slowed the tackle release market this week, but I'm sure it'll be a busy afternoon. I already told my wife, don't plan on seeing me until 7:30. Gonna wait for these tackles to come out today. This is priority. But great spot for the Texans duo of Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter. I think you can get Anderson Jr. just a quarter sack, like minus 120. So DraftKings has these. I think you're going to get the full price for Hunter or the full sack at 0.75. It's fine. Texans lead the league in pass pressure rate. Jags are falling apart. The offensive line's really struggling. I think just overall inefficiency where you're going to have a spot where these guys are going to be able to pin their ears back and get to Trevor Lawrence. And I think he's struggling. I think he's seeing that pass rush come in a little bit too. The offensive line is 27th in PFF's blocking grade. Lawrence's pressure to sack rate is up massively over last year, 25.6%. It's like a pretty big, pretty terrible pressure to sack rate for a guy that's pretty mobile and has done a decent job avoiding sacks early in his career. So 2 dogs coming from the edge, Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter. And Nick Bosa, again, like I said, like could be missing. We could be running out a completely like backup offensive line for one of the league's worst offensive lines. Bosa over 0.75 sacks, minus 130 on DraftKings. You can like sprinkle into some of the other guys too. Leonard Floyd, Malik Collins, some of that other stuff too. Just give me the best dude. Give me Nick Bosa here, teeing off against the Pats team that's going to be trailing and got a quarterback who's just trying to survive to get to the clipboard season here to run down the stretch. So give me Bosa and the Texans guys and sacks.
That seems fun.
Yeah. Sacks been doing well.
Sacks are pretty fun.
They're fun. Yeah, Khalil Mack last week in the show, first drive, hit, done, boom. That's all it takes. Just take the one. Like the one hitters. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Always been a one hitter guy. You know what I mean?
Big one hitter guy.
Oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. Chris Olave suffered an injury today in practice. We'll see how serious. From Nick Underhill a minute ago. I mean, can we get a break? I mean, Jesus, guys, this is crazy. We have Devontae Adams out today. Olave getting injured. It's like a laundry list, man. It's crazy. This is nuts.
Rough.
Oh my gosh. I mean, what do we even do with this? Like, I mean, I'm not running to take Shaheed overs, but I mean, that's probably the right look. Maybe that's why they lined A.T. Perry. That's literally it. Maybe,
there's your A.T. Perry.
Yeah. I think Taysom's involved in this game, which is kind of terrifying probably, but Taysom's probably involved.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that looks like, but they're dying to get that guy back on the field and get the ball in his hands. It's dying to.
Yeah, he's going to play, right? I think he was fine, right? By the end of the week.
I think he's good.
All he had was a bruised lung, right? I mean, who cares? It's nothing.
He's got 2 lungs for a reason.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. How do they even get bruised?
Yeah.
I mean, do we even know they're bruised? You can't see one.
It's a lung. Like,
Yeah.
Does he have a dysfunctional rib cage? Like, I feel like that's what it's there for, right? So your
Yeah,
lungs
exactly.
don't get bruised, you know?
Yeah, I don't know how you get organs bruised. Just doesn't
good
make
question
sense.
from Jake. President's Cup going on right now. Good stuff. Xander and Canley getting absolutely boat raced by Hideki and Sanjay M right now. Good for the international team rallying, showing up today, not tucking their tails between their legs. Yeah, absolutely demolished. Still holding out hope for Russell Henley, low rookie, 9-1. Can pay for all the NFL stuff this weekend. So, all right, you guys got anything else for the people?
I think I'm all picked out.
Yeah, I mean, I've played like 7 sweaty, greasy unders in the Discord. So if that's something you're looking at, we're talking about guys who are all aligned under 30 yards. I've played, and I'm very excited about it. So if that's what you're into, definitely hop in the streets. The waters are warm, and with all these other situations happening and injuries flying left and right, definitely have more plays throughout the week. Again, I think Roma Dunza was an interesting one. Dunze was an interesting one because, like you mentioned, dropped to 2.5 receptions. 35 yards might still be too low, especially if Keenan Allen's limited. Like, I don't know. I just got to dig in. We're, mid-show here. I haven't really had a chance to look at it, to be honest.
Yeah, it feels light, but yeah.
It's one play. I mean,
that's the thing with him, right? So, and the Rams, that's the stuff. The Rams have been gashed with big plays. Like they're allowing a 60, I think it was Rich Rebard had it. It was like, it's almost like a 67% completion percentage over passes 15 yards down the field. Like that's like prime Drew Brees on like sub 5-yard routes. Like they are getting cooked with big plays deep. So yeah, absolutely love to see it. So we'll have to find some ways to go about attacking that. So, all right, @Slop Rules, YouTube channel. What else do people need?
@Slop Rules on Twitter and @Slop Rules on YouTube. If you find me there, you found all you need. Everything else is just gravy.
Take advantage of the rebet deal, guys. Like again, like let's be honest, don't get caught up in how you can play and like whatever rebet is a sweepstake game, like some of the other pick'em games. Like, yeah, whatever. Ask questions. We can help you with that. We get some guys in our Discord pushing out rebet plays. They have a version of Prop Builder, and it's a way to get a subscription for the entire year for $10. Download rebet, promo code 444bet, 444 BET. About 48 hours, you'll get an email telling you how to take advantage and access your subscription. $10 rest of the year. Everything you want. So check it out. If you have any questions, reach out directly. Again, subscribe before you take off. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Come back on Wednesday for our game previews. For Connor and Slop, I'm Ryan. We'll see y'all next time. Thanks, everyone.